Welcome back to the table, everybody. Today we're playing Undaunted. It's Undaunted Normandy. We're playing with the reinforcements, and it will be with the solo deck. I won't go and explain like all the rules on how to play solo, but we'll just kind of play solo, and some of the rules will come out as we play. And when you set the scenario up, you set it up exactly the same way as you would from the Undaunted Normandy scenario book. But they have a solo book which tells you if there's any changes that needs to take place on a particular scenario. Luckily for me, the only change I had to make for the very first mission, Haye, was that this first German tile is not worth 3 victory points, it's worth 2. So the AI is going to have to work just a little harder to get a win. Other than that, the game should play normal. I pulled the camera back a little bit, so hopefully you can see the entire map. It's just that if I keep going up, everything will start to shrink away. So I was trying to figure out, just to make sure that cards, you won't be able to see necessarily all the cards that I lay out, but I was hoping that, here you could see everything, and if I play the cards out in this area, you can mostly see the cards. I'll do my best to call things out as they occur. Now, if you aren't familiar with the game, the AI is driven by these cards. So when we play an appropriate card, I'll pull out one of the cards and we'll kind of read the rules together and have them play out. So we'll kind of get started. Now, the gameplay, again, it's the same. And I learned this on Board Game Geek. I wasn't aware. Even though for this scenario the Americans start with the initiative, you still play the initiative phase. So I draw 4 cards, and I like to arrange them here so I can see. Now, again, try and pull these up a little bit. So I've got the platoon, you can't see their abilities, but I got the platoon sergeant, squad leader, the scout, the rifleman here, and part of me is that top tile doesn't have a whole lot on it. Maybe if I just shift ever so slightly. So this top tile is out of frame just a little bit, but at least you can kind of see the cards here. Now I have to determine initiative, and I'm going to keep the platoon sergeant because I want to bolster. Squad leader I could use to inspire and have this guy make 2 actions. Scout is needed because I got to move, but I'll go ahead and use him for the bid currently. So I'm going to set the 3 Americans off to the side. Now we're playing on easy. Normal mode, when you play the German, the bot, you draw from their deck the top card and flip, and that's their initiative bid. In the normal difficulty, if the if the bot wins the initiative, they get to keep this card in the play area and then draw 3. So the bot is usually running from 4 cards. Now that works fine, but for me, I have found that when I play that way, the game runs pretty long. So I'm going to play the easy way, which means if the bot wins the initiative, they'll go ahead and discard their initiative card just like a player would. But since I won the initiative, if the bot loses initiative, they always discard anyway. But I'm going to play it where the bot will always discard. That way it's just like a human opponent. I think they gave that as a little slight advantage because, again, it's being played by a bot and not a person. Alright, so I got a discard pile over here. I'm going to pull these 3 out to make some decisions. I'm going to bolster with the platoon sergeant so I can grab me some units into my discard pile. I've got my cards off to the side. I guess I could stick these tokens here and draw my supply piles over here. That way you can kind of see the supply piles. I got my fog of war. You can see most of it. We're going to go ahead and, since I can bolster 3, I don't think he had to do it all from one platoon. Let me just double check. Take up the cards from your supply and add them to your discard pile. If the card specifies a squad, yeah, I can just take, and since that's the platoon sergeant, he can pull from either squad. So I'm just going to grab, like, either way, 2 riflemen and a scout. I'll just pull them from Alpha Squad. So we'll put those into the discard. And then I'll use my squad leader here to inspire. I mean, I could bolster some more, but we'll go ahead and inspire my riflemen. Now, what I do, this is how the bot works. When the bot inspires someone, it flips them. And since I'm laying my cards, normally your cards are in your hand, and you take one card and play it down to the play area. And then what the squad leader does is it lets you pull that card back into your hand. And since I'm putting them on the table so we can see when I play, this is how the bot tracks an inspire. It just has you rotate a card, and then I know once I do my first action, I flip it. Once he does his second action, you pull. So that's easy for me. So I know Rifleman A has been inspired. So I'm going to move Rifleman A over here. Since this area has been scouted, that's his first action. Then he'll do his control. So that will do his second action, and we'll snag this victory point. That means I'm going to have to get, next time I draw a scout, get a scout moving so I can come and claim an area. So we'll flip that to the German side, and now he draws out 3. And, alright, perfect. Now, what you do is you arrange the cards in initiative order, and then you pull this AI card. Now, what I like about this system as far as the AI goes, instead of having just this big deck of AI cards, and you just kind of randomly pull a card each time, this is like a flow chart, and you just pull for the appropriate unit. So you don't have to have a lot of cards. You just have out cards for each unit, and then based on the scenario number. So for scenarios in this example, scenarios 1, 3, 7 through 9, and 12 would use this version of the Rifleman card. I like this because this lets the game, it specifies exactly what type of rifleman and actions it has, because some scenarios have special situations, and the AI card then is tailored for that scenario. The drawback is these cards are tailored for those scenarios. So if you were to make your own missions for this game, the cards might not work that way, because these are driven by certain requirements specifically for the scenario they're assigned to. So there's good and bad with it. But here we have a scout, and it says 1 fog of war and bot play area recon. Yes, so there's a fog of war here, so they'll use 1 scout to play a to get rid of the fog of war. I'll put my out of game up there. Put that to the discard. Then I got Alpha Squad Scout here. So you just follow down all the requirements. Fog of War, nope. Tile is secure. Yes, this tile is secure. It's secure because we have some folks on it and we have control of it. Tile is secure. So select Threatened Objective. Threatened Objective has several requirements, meaning one of these objectives has to be in control by you, and there's an enemy on it by itself, which could flip control, but there's no threatened objectives. So then it says select an unscouted and uncontrolled objective. Now this also says you got to pick it within 2, so 2 tiles away. This is an objective that is 2 tiles away. That's an objective 2 tiles away. So then there's a little decision maker. It says you want to pick for the value is more important than cover. Well, this one has that has greater value, but this is worth more objective points. So my scout moves towards that objective first. Doop. And as the German player moves, he picks up the scout tokens. Oh, technically we could move through here and then take that one. That way you're only picking up 1 Fog of War card, because every time you put a scout token you get a Fog of War. And Fog of War clutters up your play area. It lets you bring less soldiers out, so those are bad to have. And then that would be the scout. Alright, German player turn is done. So then we would move on to the next turn, and the American player has to pull out 4 cards, and I'm going to decide what I want to keep. Let's see. I don't have to rearrange. I just like to see my options here by initiative. Well, I don't want to. I could bid the Fog of War, let the German bot retain initiative, but at the same time, yeah, I need to scout, because I need to scout down here too. Or I could scout around, but this would be a good one to take. That's 3 points, or 2 points. That would give me 3 overall. So I think I'll keep the scout here. Squad leader will probably use to bolster. Alright, so I'm going to bid my Fog of War card. So I put that down, and then I flip the top card of the deck for the German player. He drew Fog of War. When it's a tie, whoever currently has initiative retains initiative. So the German bot wins with a Fog of War card, and we'll go. And again, I discarded it, so it's just like a human player would. And this is what they bring to the field. So we'll look for the platoon sergeant card. Okay, so it says on a die roll, I rolled a 3. So on a 1 through 3, it will bolster. It's going to bolster from Alpha Squad. Bolster for the bot. Normally when you bolster by this number, which for this platoon sergeant is a 3. You probably can't read that. But I was reading the rules, and it says you just take the top card of the squad indicated. So he's going to bolster from A. So I grab a rifleman. I have their supply column and supply deck. I didn't go over all the setup, but I just draw from the alpha deck and put it into the discard. So the platoon sergeant has done his job. Then the squad leader says matching cards in play area, because that's the first line of the AI. You inspire next to matching cards. Well, he does not have anybody else from Alpha Squad out here. So we go to the next one. It says bolster matching squad. Oh, he does it twice. Bolster matching squad, bolster matching squad. So for his, like here it says his bolster normally is pull 2 from Alpha, and then on his card I have 2 bolster commands. So I'm going to draw 2 from Alpha. So I draw another rifleman, and I draw a scout. And then his turn is done. Then we gotta look for the rifleman. Okay. First, the rifleman is over here. His first action is control, which it's already controlled. So we come down here. Tile is controlled by either side and enemy occupied. Nope, no enemy there. Then it says the tile is secure. Select destination within 1 tile that is scouted. Alright, well here's within 1 that is scouted. So they'll probably start moving here soon. It says select threatened objective as destination. There is no threatened objective currently. So it says select uncontrolled objective as destination. Not occupied by riflemen. You want an objective, but there's no objective that he can reach within 1. So it says select destination closest to above A or B, further from enemy, and then with greater cover or random. I mean, he really doesn't need to control this. It's looking for objectives. So this is the better objective. I think that he's going to move towards the objective because only riflemen can take areas. So we'll start moving, and you got to move through scouted areas. That's why your scouts are important. So I'm going to just start moving them towards the objective. So that might not be exactly what the AI wants, but that kind of makes sense to me. The only drawback is when it comes up to a rifleman again, he's going to control this area, which has no value really, but he'll claim it. Oh, I moved the wrong rifleman. Rifleman B. Alright, awesome. Okay, then I flip it to the American. I always forget to keep flipping. This is to help me remember who is current and then break ties later, but I'm always forgetting to flip that. Alright, I have a squad leader. I have no Bravo squad out here, so I'm going to use him to bolster. So I put him in the discard. I'm going to draw 2 riflemen. No, I'm going to draw a rifleman and a scout to add for Bravo squad. Then we have a scout. I have no Fog of War, which is terrible because I like to also remove Fog of War cards. So we're going to work this Alpha Scout. He's going to move 2. He's going to move 1 here and move 1 here. So I'm going to put binoculars here and binocular here. Oh, I forgot to add. Did I add? I'll make sure I added a Fog of War for the German. Yeah, I did. Yeah, they added a Fog of War earlier. Okay. And I got to add 2 Fog of War for the American players. I got to put in 2 Fog of War cards because we just scouted 2 areas. So that scout done. Then the Rifleman A. Now that this is scouted, we'll go ahead and move him because we want to capture that area. So Rifleman in play. Then we flip to the German side. He draws 1. He's got to draw 3. And now we have run out of cards, so I take his deck. Oh, there should be 3 Fog of War in here. There's not. I forgot to add a Fog of War for them. Oh, no, I did because I took 1 out. So, no, they're appropriate. So we're just going to mix these up just a little bit. Alright, here comes new draw deck, and they draw Fog of War. Alright. So squad leader, I just kind of have this memorized a little bit. Squad leader's first action is always to inspire. And since he has nobody to inspire, then he will go ahead and bolster. And he gets 2 bolster actions according to the card. So he draws in a rifleman, 2 riflemen, and adds those to the discard pile. And then he goes to the discard pile. Alrighty, and then the rifleman will follow the rifleman. Now remember, the first thing riflemen do is they check to see if they can control. He can't. Then he looks to see if he's in a spot that he can fight somebody. Nope. Tile is secure. Select destination. There's not one that is threatened. There is an uncontrolled objective because I think he would look to move towards the uncontrolled objective. I think he's going to move in the same way. He'll probably end up moving here. So let's do that. Yeah, I probably am not doing the move destination quite appropriately, but he's moving towards an objective, so we'll do that. All right, so he's done, and then Fog of War does nothing. All right, so now it would be another turn. I wish I had like a turn tracker, but the game really doesn't play in turns. It plays till somebody wins, and I got to draw 4. So there's 3. So we'll do a quick shuffle here. Mix it up a little bit. Alright, and there's the 4th card. So we had, there's a Fog of War, and we got a Scout. Now I want to get rid of, I do my best, like the bot, to get rid of these Fog of Wars, because they'll just clutter up your deck and leave you really without a lot of options. So I'm going to bid a Rifleman. I know I need the Scouts, but I got to get rid of the Fog of War. Otherwise, I just added 2, so I have 4 currently in the deck, and that's bad. So I'm bidding a Rifleman. I don't like that, but I will. Then the AI also bids a rifleman, and that means they retain initiative. So they both discard. All right, I'm going to set the Americans off to the side. Okay, then the German plays 2 scouts. All right, so the first scout will always get rid of the fog of war. So their deck is becoming more efficient because there's less fog of war. So it takes a little while for your scouts to get moving to new areas, but with the fog of war out of the way, out of the game, that will become easier in the future. Your chances of drawing scouts and riflemen are much better. Okay, so that leaves the scout. And the scout, he hasn't moved yet, so he'll end up moving. So there's no recon. He already did the recon. The other guy did. Tile is secure, so there's not a threatened objective. Normally they will always move towards a threatened objective. Select an unscouted and uncontrolled objective within 2. That would be this one. This one's already been scouted, so he will go. Now he has to come up. We'll go here, 1, 2. Now that will put 2 scouted markers, and I got to remember, add 2 fog of war are now going into the deck. So that's the uncertainty of these areas. Alright, so that guy is done. Then we flip to the American side, and the Americans pull their cards out. I'm doing the same thing. Here goes my scout. He will do a recon and clear out a fog of war. And that leaves me with my rifleman B to make a decision. I think I'm going to move him down here. I mean, I could attack from here, but I'll fight better if I get in there. That might not be a good decision. He might actually be safer to fight from here, but it will make it a little harder to hit this guy. I tell you what, let's go ahead and shoot at his scout. Now, shooting is you count the distance in tiles, so there's 1, and this adds to their defense. So it's 1 and cover 1. So I'm going to add that to their inherent defense, which is 5. So it's going to take a 7 on the die 10. Yeah, you can probably see that. I rolled a 2. So, shot wasted. You know, that happens. Okay, that was a turn. So now I pull out 4, 2, 3, 4. We'll flip them. Yay, fog of war. Yay. Alright. Ooh, would it be nice to retain the initiative? I'm okay, since I don't have a scout to remove the fog of war, and I want to do actions. I'll go ahead and yeah, I'm going to keep this. Now, if I'm lucky, the German bot will pull a fog of war because we added some to their deck. Nope, he played a scout, so his scout goes discard. My fog of war discards. German player gets the initiative, so they're going to pull 3. 1, 2, and they always put theirs in initiative order, and then 3. All right, now we roll a dice for the platoon sergeant. Roll a 9, and I think that means he's going to do the command. Yep. And he does command 2 according to the card. Same as what's on there, but his card specifies 2. I don't know if it's ever different, but he pulls out another rifleman, and he pulls out another rifleman. Alright, well that one's way over here. So platoon sergeant, discard, has done his job. And these guys come over. Well, that was very lucky for the German player. So the squad leader, his first command is always inspire, and it says matching cards in play inspire next to matching cards. Well, here we go. There are 2. Now, if there was like 3 alpha riflemen out here, he would only do 2. So it doesn't matter if there's 3 or 4 or just 1, and it doesn't matter if you pulled them in this sequence where that's a bravo. he would get the next two that match him, is my understanding. I'm not entirely sure if that's 100% correct. It just says, you know, the next two matching. So this matches and that one matches. Those are the next two that match. But I don't know if that means look at the two cards. It had an example, but you know, I don't always do my best with examples. So I kind of fumble my way through until somebody says, nope, this is how you do it, buddy. Okay. Because the example in the book said there was like an alpha and a bravo, and he would inspire the alpha but not the bravo, but it didn't really say, like an extended example, if he had the next two match, or this would be the next two you look at. Because the way is when the German player sets up, you line them up in order of initiative and in the order that you pull them out. So you don't rearrange them once they're out. But luckily in this situation, both of them came out next to each other from the same squad. So he will inspire them. And that's really bad for me. Because, again, they get two actions each. Well, enough describing that problem. So the Alpha Rifleman does a control for his first action. So that didn't work out as bad as I thought it would. Then he would check to see if there's an enemy there. There's not. There's no threatened objective. This isn't threatened because there's no enemy in it, but he wants to go to an uncontrolled objective, which is this one, and it's the closest, and it meets his criteria, so he'll move there. All right, bold. So the AI actually makes probably better decisions than I do. All right, but now we got to do, hey, look, it's Rifleman A again. So his first item will be do a control. Like, yes, that guy, he had, oh, wrong one. He was full of initiative. And now the AI is 1 point away from winning. I gotta step up my game. Then for his second action, there's actually nowhere for him to move. Nope, he can move that way because he's going to move now. He can only move one. So he's controlled this area. So now he'll start moving out again. And he's going to move here. Because they want to get up now and take that one. This was the higher victory point one. This is the next one they have. Those are unscouted, so he can't move there. So he's going to start wandering that way. All right, now Rifleman B, who's down here, he would also start moving up. So they are working together to reinforce and secure these areas. Like I said, smart. All right, well now we get the American player. Yeah, I was going to do, inspire sounds good, but I'm going to bolster. I'm going to bolster 2. I'm going to get a rifleman and a scout from Bravo. Gotta fill those in. Okay, then Rifleman A. Rifleman A will do a control. So now we have that one. Discard. Rifleman B. You know, I'm gonna move. This is better cover. Oh, I can't move there. So what we'll do is, yeah, we're going to cause trouble for them. So why don't I go ahead, I'm going to shoot at these guys who are in the open. Okay, that's what I'll do. So my riflemen from cover will shoot at these riflemen in the open. So the only benefit they get is being 1 tile away. So he's got to roll. Rifleman B needs to roll a 5 or higher. I like them odds. And I roll a 3. That's perfect. Good odds, terrible rolling. All right. And that would be that turn. So here comes another turn. The Americans are going to pull out their 4 cards. I don't have to flip them upside down, so we'll just lay them out. Here's 4, and I got to decide which one. I'm going to, I've almost got all my reinforcements here. Scout, and I got to get scouts moving. So probably what I'll do is oh, Rifleman A is over here. I can move him to cover and shoot. So I'm going to keep the Rifleman there. I'm going to use the Scout because I need a Scout there and put a binocular on it. So I'm going to bid my Platoon Sergeant. Alright, I think I'm going to win. Unless he pulls a Platoon Sergeant, because I have to shuffle these guys a little bit. Shuffle, shuffle. I guess that's shuffled enough. Okay, new draw deck, and they bid a Rifleman. Alright, so that goes to their discard. This goes to my discard. Okay, so here we go. America. So the Scout, I move my Scout here. So we can put a token. Unfortunately, that does add a Fog of War to my discard deck. Rifleman A. Rifleman A will move to the protection of that house. And I'm going to shoot at the Rifleman. I'm going to shoot a Rifleman. I'm going to shoot at Rifleman A. Because he's got the most that he's got. If I look at the supply piles, he's got the most is A. B doesn't activate as much. So I'm going to get rid of A. So we're going to fire. And again, same thing. I'm one tile away, 0 defense. So he's got 5 total defense. A 7. So I hit a Rifleman. Now, first, when you discard, you're looking to see, you pull from the discard pile. Then you would look at the controlled deck or the bought deck, and then you look at their supply pile. And this is right in their discard. So he does have more Rifleman A to pull. Sadly, I'd rather pull them from their deck, but that's one less that he'll have overall. And then you put a marker on it, control marker, saying that he's been hit. That's important for later, which is later. It's now the German turn, so we flip the marker. Okay, squad leader, Scout, Rifleman. Again, very lucky for the German player. So his squad leader will inspire the next 2, which are them. Ah, boy, yeah, he's got it good. Now the Scout, his Scout is up here, and he's got to go find some objectives over here. So there's no threatened objective. This isn't controlled, so that's not threatened, and he's moving. So he's going to select an unscouted and uncontrolled objective, and he's looking for the one that has the most value first, but he's got to be within 2. Well, this one here within 2 meets the criteria, so he's going to move, sneaks past that Rifleman group, moves over here, and he's going to add scouted. Boop. I guess I could put my control marker here just for, and he puts one here. And they add 2 Fog of War to their discard. Okay, now the Scout goes again. And trying to keep these. Alright, same thing. There's more objectives down here. So he moves 1, 2, because he wants to get the highest, and it just happens to be in the way. So by default, he now scouts 2 more locations. So they are ready to go capture stuff. And he adds 2 more Fog of War to the discard. So coming up, he's going to have a lot of fog to deal with. So he goes away. Then the Rifleman B, first thing they always do is do a control. So he will control. So we own that now. That was his first action. Then he wants to move. We control this one, but we need to control this one. So he's going to move up. And he's done. Eventually the Rifleman will start moving here. So right now the way that this has turned out is the bots are kind of moving the riflemen together, which is actually really smart because it takes riflemen to capture. So I would either have to dedicate riflemen to shooting all of his riflemen, or I got to go capture stuff first. So I might want to move down here and kill his scouts. Yeah, that's tough. I probably should have come down here. Well, you know what? No use crying over it now. Let's get another set of cards out. 1, 2, 3. That's bad for me. Oh, this is a new turn. Here comes number 4. All right. Well, I definitely need the scout. My scout is here, so I need him, and I need to shoot with the riflemen to kill riflemen. So I'm going to bid a fog of war. Yeah. Oh, these come off. I'll explain if this comes into play. It didn't come into play, so I'm going to take that off. So I bid a fog of war. Even if he bids a fog of war, but he does lose his scout. Yay, discard the scout. I'm okay with that. Alright, so the German player plays 3. 1, 2. Oh, man, there's all his riflemen. I'm going to get rid of his fog of war because that don't do anything. So the rifleman is already controlled. He'll move up for an action, and then he'll attack my scouts. You can't control something while an enemy is on it. So he's going to attack the scout. So we're in the same. So that's a 0 for range and add 2 for defense. So the German player has to roll a 7 or higher. Rolls a 2. Alright, good. So that scout is dug in. I need to move. If I move a rifleman in, it's equal odds to hurt each other. That scout, I might just have the scout stay and fight it out. Alright, so I don't need the fog of war. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh. Yeah, my riflemen are up here now that are going to try and kill them. So I don't need to scout here. So I need to make my deck more efficient. So I'm going to waste a scout. I hate to do that. Kind of hate to do it. Rifleman A needs to move up here because that gets him closer for shooting. If I shoot here, then it's a range of 1, 2, plus a 2 there, 4. I would need an 8 to hit. Now it's a little closer. It's a 7 to hit still, but 7 is a little bit better than 8. Okay. Yeah, now it's the German player turn, I think. Now I don't know if it's a new turn. No, because I just pulled those up. Okay, so here we go. Oh, yeah, I pulled that up. So the German player... Okay, so I think now it's a whole new turn. 1, 2. I got to shuffle. And luckily I pulled one fog of war out. So there's still like maybe 3 or 4 in the deck. Yeah, I need to get everything up there and kill those riflemen. Or I got to come down here and kill those scouts. Oh man, that's tough. Maybe I should have stayed, killed the scout, and then took that 2 away. Or I could run a rifleman over here. I might have to run a rifleman over here and capture that spot, because that would give us not a win. But we'd be at 4, and then the bot would try to move back to protect it. Oh, choices, choices. Yeah, the bot definitely makes this tough. Okay, so I've got 2 squad leaders out. Inspire would be the order of the day, I think. So I'm going to inspire this B scout. And I'm going to inspire... Oh, these are both scouts. Well, okay, so do your thing there, scouts. So Scout B, yeah, see, I don't want to leave because if I draw a rifleman, they'll take control, they'll win. So my scout is going to fight. We're going to fire at the rifleman A. Yeah, because that's already got a wound on there. Okay, so it's in the same hex. That's a 0, add 2. I got to roll 6 or higher. So the scout fires and rolls a 9. Okay, excellent. So that's one action. That's one hit. Out comes a rifleman. Then we fire again. That scout's going to light them up some more. Need a 6. And let me look through the camera. That's mostly, I'm looking, it's cocked between a 10 and an 8. So either one of those is a hit. So we'll take another rifleman. It was, I mean, it was just barely, I don't know, probably the right thing would be to re-roll. So I re-rolled it, still got a 9, so we'll take that. So that was Scout B. Now we do Scout A. Scout A is down here. I'm going to move here, and then I'm going to start moving this way to capture his objective. So I move down here, and I put me a binocular. I don't want to move through here. I don't want to add Fog of War, but that would be the quickest way back. I just don't want to add all that fog. So we'll come back up here. Alright, so he's done. Scout's done. I did scout this, so I have to add a Fog of War. And that's what I'm trying to avoid, but I had to put one in there. Okay, so, oh, I did hit that rifleman twice. So, and I didn't remove it. I'll explain. If this comes up, I'll explain why. So now we draw 3 cards, put them in order. Okay, now, what you do is when you shoot something, if you don't kill it, you put on a control marker for every hit that you did. So not only did I take it out of the game, but now when I pull the cards, you look to see if there's a matching card in play that has a token on it. And if it is, you take a token and then you discard that unit. You discard. You don't remove it from the game. I'm not entirely sure what that replicates exactly, but it's done. Now, there's no other Rifleman A, so I take that other marker off. So if I had multiple markers, which I did, if I had pulled another Rifleman, then that second card would have had him discard too. I'm not quite sure why that is or what that replicates, but that's kind of what it says to do. And it doesn't happen that often, but it's nice when it does. And then a scout in play removes, oh, I forgot to flip that to the German player. The scout card will remove a Fog of War from the game. Okay, so I have no Americans out. German player just went. I may have merged a couple turns there by accident, because once you get going, sometimes I lose track. It's like you're just card flipping and going. But this would be a new turn, so a new initiative bid. So here's four cards. The scout. I want to keep the rifleman. I'm going to bid the Fog of War, just because I need. Well, the scout, because I want to get rid of the Fog of War, right? But my rifleman, because I got to shoot his rifleman. Ooh, choices. So I'll keep the scout, because I got to move my scout. I'll bid the Fog of War. And the German player bids his platoon sergeant. So, yay, that goes to his discard, just like a human player. And then that goes to my discard, so I still got Fogs of War. Okay, German plays a squad leader, a Fog of War, and a rifleman. So we'll go ahead and leave it there on the German side, get rid of that Fog of War, can't do anything with it. They don't match, so he will bolster from Alpha. And that's another rifleman to replace the couple I've killed. Alright, well that happens. And then this rifleman, because there's a unit in here, he's going to fight my scout. My scouts have a 7 defense. And he rolls a 9. So first I check the discard. Oh no, I got a scout hurt. He's holding the line. So there goes my scout. He's out of the game. I got a couple more, so it's alright. Okay, now the Americans. Americans, that scout, he's moving. So he's got to get across. I'm going to go here first. And I'm going to go this way. And the reason why is because everybody's up here. I wouldn't want to scout this way, because then my men would have to come that way. That makes no sense. So we'll scout across here. So I'm going to add scouted. And I got to add a fog of war. I hate fog of war. Alright, so he's done. Then Rifleman B will shoot at Rifleman A. So again, they have a defense of 6. Come on, Rifleman. 2. Nope. Rifleman A fires. We got to protect that area. Rolls an 8. Great. That's another Rifleman out. So at first you check the discard. Here's a discard. Rifleman. There's maybe 2 Riflemen left from that Alpha squad. So we're going to keep the pressure up on them. Okay, the German player plays a Rifleman. And we got to shuffle up a bit. Come on. Feeling good here. It's a tough fight up there. Let me tell you though, this plays different. This is a lot different than what I've played before. I kind of like it. A lot of it is based on like where I scout and move, and then, you know, just kind of how things play out. And this is how this one's playing out. 2, so right there. 3. All right, well, perfect. So he oh, that sucks. Yeah, so the German player definitely makes some good decisions. So he inspires the next 2. There, okay. Oh, even though I did hit a Rifleman. Remember, I hit a Rifleman. Oh, I hit Rifleman A. So that would get a marker. But then no Rifleman A come out, so that marker comes off. All right, so Rifleman. He's going to shoot at the scout. These are all going to shoot and kill my scout so they can secure the area. I don't like it. So they need 7s. Of course, he rolls a 7. So his first hit pulls another scout. Oh, this is not looking good. Let's see. Do I have a scout B? That's actually the smartest thing that bot could do. So then I gotta look through my draw deck and take the first scout. Well, I had one on the bottom, so that scout is dead. Then the Rifleman B shoots at my scout again. Oh my goodness. I should have one more scout in my draw deck. They are almost out of scouts. Goodbye, Edward Wilson. You will be missed. Okay, so that Rifleman's done. Then, oh look, Rifleman B shoots again. Every single man in their squad is getting a shot here. He rolls a 7, because that's exactly what he needed to hit. I don't think there's one in my draw deck. I think he got all my scouts. That's actually very bad. Yes, that's bad because there's no more cards. In my discard, I don't have any more scouts. I don't have any scouts in my discard. I don't have any in my hand. I don't have any in my draw deck. And there's no more scouts in the supply. So that technically would pull him off. So those scouts are gone. Then his final action would be to control. And that gives 2, 4, 5. 5 objective points to the German AI. And they won. That's fantastic. Yeah, actually that's pretty good. It's not overly complicated. I like their bot system. It makes sense, and they play very aggressively and very good. So even if they put themselves whoa, allergies. They put themselves out there a bit, but yeah, because see, when I was going for objectives, when they captured this one, I mean, I guess they would have gone this route because I think these are closer. I'm not sure why. Oh, because I don't think at the time these had been scouted. So this one was scouted, so they went ahead and went up there. And then their scouts finally came down and scouted all of this. And so that's what makes the solo system really cool, because in previous games, I might have drawn more scouts, and then the scouts would have come and opened up spots first. Yeah, so it just happened to work this way, and it worked out really good for the German player. Congratulations. The dice rolls went really well. I had a few more misses with mine than they had with theirs, but I was close to reducing one of their rifle squads, but he had the other one right there. So I think the AI bot and helping that worked out good. I think so. I like the solo system, I have to say. It's a little bit better than trying to figure out things on your own, but it plays smart and it plays aggressive, and they won. And I don't think it was unrealistic. I think they made decisions that were really good, probably better than a human player. I think I've noticed with this game myself, and when I play with like a human opponent, tends to be maybe not quite as aggressive in getting things scouted and then pushing the riflemen through. I tend to play more defensive, so that's my mistake, because I definitely should have moved a rifleman on there to back up the scout and then fought. I was afraid of them attacking my riflemen and losing my riflemen, because the bot will attack the person with the lowest defense, and that would be the rifleman. But in this case, now that I see it, I definitely should have moved a rifleman in there to back up the scouts, or moved both my riflemen, and then they just would have been shooting back and forth. So the final battle would have been here, but it would probably be necessary in this situation. And so that was me not being as aggressive as the AI bot. But overall, I like it. So if you've ever been curious about Undaunted, the Normandy system, but you don't like the idea of having to budget and manage 2 hands of cards, I think this system they have is pretty simple and allows you to really focus on what you're doing. And the bot cards, because they're specific to each scenario, they, I think, play intelligently to that scenario. So overall, I think it's great. And thanks for watching. And yeah, if you like it or have comments, let me know what you think. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.